This is not the story of a city rising. It is the story of a city continuing. In the 19th century, Istanbul did not collapse suddenly, nor did it transform cleanly. It functioned, it endured, it absorbed pressure without resolving it. From a distance, the city appeared stable. Maps suggested control, trade created movement, faith offered continuity. Today, through careful AI-based reconstruction and historical visual restoration, we are able to look back and observe how life inside that city actually unfolded, not as myth, but as lived space. Yet beneath these systems, daily life narrowed, space tightened, labor intensified, reform arrived unevenly. People did not experience history as decline or progress. They experienced it as adjustment, as calculation, as endurance without certainty. The truth of Istanbul in the 1800s was not drama. It was persistence under strain. That persistence can only be understood by stepping closer into the spaces where pressure became routine and where ordinary lives carried the weight of the city forward. From a distance, Istanbul still looks whole. Minarets rise cleanly against the sky. The water reflects order, not anxiety, but cities reveal nothing from afar. They hide fatigue behind symmetry. They conceal strain inside beauty. In the 19th century, this view comforted outsiders. Sailors believed stability lived on these shores. Officials trusted maps more than streets. For those inside the city, distance felt dishonest. They knew what the horizon erased: crowded homes, tight streets, lives pressed too close together. The city had not stopped functioning. It had simply stopped breathing easily. People moved because they had to, worked because stopping meant hunger, believed because disbelief offered nothing better. This panorama is not a celebration. It is a pause, a moment before reality closes in, a moment that asks the viewer to look closer, because beauty is not proof of health. Inside Hagia, Sophia, the 19th century revealed itself not through grandeur alone, but through repetition. Columns aligned in long sequences, guiding movement sideways rather than upward. Light entered unevenly, slipping between arches, settling on stone worn smooth by centuries of passage. People moved quietly along these aisles, not as visitors, but as participants in an inherited routine. The building no longer announced power, it contained it. Repairs layered over earlier repairs, making time visible rather than erased. Faith here was not theatrical, it was habitual. The scale remained overwhelming, yet daily presence reduced it to something navigable. Each step adjusted to shadow, temperature, and sound. Nothing directed the crowd forward, nothing invited them to stop. The space absorbed them and released them slowly. This interior was not frozen history. It was continuity without instruction, where survival meant adapting to weight, silence, and the patience of stone across generations daily. The harbor worked without pause, before sunrise, after dusk. Men carried weight because ships demanded it. Boats arrived regardless of exhaustion. Trade did not wait for health. The Golden Horn fed the city. It also drained it. Labor here was repetitive and exposed. Cold water, rough wood, unpredictable schedules. In the 19th century, few dock workers imagined permanence. Employment lasted until injury, strength until sickness. The harbor connected Istanbul to the world. It also carried disease inward. Crowds gathered, waste accumulated, water suffered. People did not romanticize this space. They endured it. To stop working meant falling behind instantly. To slow down meant replacement. The harbor demanded presence, not loyalty, effort, not identity. This scene explains the city's rhythm better than palaces ever could. Istanbul moved because labor absorbed pressure silently, and silence here was survival. Most lives unfolded away from monuments, in streets too narrow for sunlight, in homes built close to necessity. Wooden houses leaned toward each other. Fire spread easily. Privacy did not. Families shared rooms, neighbors shared walls, illness shared air. The street was not a backdrop. It was an extension of the home. People cooked outside, worked outside, argued and reconciled publicly. In the 19th century, urban density increased faster than solutions. Migration filled spaces not designed to expand. Officials spoke of reform, Residents spoke of rent. Children learned routes early, not for exploration, for avoidance. Everyone knew which alleys flooded, which corners burned first, which areas authorities ignored longest. This image shows no single tragedy, only accumulation. And accumulation, over time, reshapes behavior. Caution becomes instinct. Hope becomes practical. The city did not crush people, it narrowed their margins. The bazaar felt alive. Noise echoed purpose. Goods suggested prosperity. Merchants displayed confidence. Buyers measured risk carefully. In the 19th century, this space symbolized continuity. Trade survived where politics faltered. Routine endured where stability weakened. Yet abundance here was uneven. Profit circulated selectively. Security rarely followed money home. The bazaar offered opportunity, not certainty. Success depended on timing, on relationships, on resilience. Behind counters, people calculated daily survival, not legacy, not growth. Prices reacted faster than reforms. Rumors moved quicker than law. The bazaar masked vulnerability through motion. Stillness would reveal too much. For outsiders, this was energy. For insiders, it was tension maintained. Every transaction carried weight. Every slow day felt dangerous. This scene matters because it shows balance. A city functioning while straining. Trade did not fix Istanbul. It delayed collapse. Sometimes delay is all a society can manage. Hagia Sophia stood unchanged while meanings shifted. Its walls had witnessed empires reorganize themselves repeatedly. In the 19th century, the building offered stability without solutions. It reminded people of endurance, not direction. Faith here was layered, personal, institutional, political. People entered seeking reassurance. They left carrying unanswered questions. The structure did not adapt to modern pressures. It absorbed them symbolically. Prayers echoed alongside doubt. Tradition coexisted with uncertainty. For the city's residents, Hagia Sophia represented continuity without clarity. It did not promise improvement, only survival. Time accumulated here visibly. Cracks were not hidden. Repairs were selective. This building mattered because it slowed thought. It forced pause. In a city rushing to reform itself, pause was rare, and sometimes unsettling. The image does not inspire awe alone. It invites reflection. What endures does not always guide. Sometimes it only watches. Pera looked forward while the rest of the city looked inward. Stone replaced wood. Gas lamps replaced darkness. Foreign languages filled cafes. Diplomacy occupied sidewalks. This district embodied reform physically, but reform did not spread evenly. Crossing neighborhoods felt like crossing decades. Access determined experience. Residents elsewhere watched change from a distance, curious, skeptical, excluded. Modernization arrived selectively. Protection followed wealth. Pera promised possibility. It also sharpened contrast. For some, this was progress. For others, it was reminder. The city was no longer unified by rhythm. It moved at different speeds simultaneously. That difference created friction. Expectation rose faster than capacity. This image matters because it shows divergence, a city splitting internally, not by ideology, by infrastructure. Modernity did not replace the old city. It stood beside it, and proximity made inequality visible, impossible to ignore. Fire arrived without negotiation. It ignored reform schedules. It erased plans instantly. In 19th century Istanbul, fires were expected, prepared for emotionally, rarely prevented structurally. Wooden neighborhoods burned fast. Wind decided outcomes. People fled carrying fragments of life. Documents, tools, memories. Authority followed slowly. Rebuilding followed selectively. Fire did not discriminate. Recovery did. Some areas were redesigned. Others rebuilt the same vulnerabilities. For residents, fire meant interruption. Loss measured in continuity, not drama. Afterward, life resumed cautiously. Trauma normalized. This image represents exposure, a city confronting its own fragility openly. Fire revealed what density hid, how close everything already was. Disaster did not end Istanbul. It clarified its limits. And clarity, while painful, is honest. Sometimes the truth of a city appears only when structure fails, when survival becomes visible. At the water's edge, the city seemed calm again. Ships moved steadily, currents remained reliable. The Bosphorus did not change with politics, it observed them. By the late 19th century, Istanbul stood between identities, not fallen, not secure. The water carried continuity outward, trade persisted, movement continued, yet certainty had dissolved. People sensed transition without definition. The city still functioned, but it no longer believed in permanence. Residents adapted quietly, adjusted expectations, measured futures conservatively. This scene does not conclude a story, it suspends it. Istanbul did not collapse suddenly. It endured slowly. That endurance required acceptance of limits, of uncertainty. The Bosphorus reminds us that cities rarely end cleanly. They change while people remain inside them. Living through transition does not feel historic. It feels ordinary. And that ordinariness is what makes this moment worth stopping for.